Hi, it's Josie, and today I thought I would show you how I warm my horses up. I come out with a plan for all of my riding sessions on my horses, but the horse actually dictates that plan. I might decide that today I want to work on leg yielding, but Rebel decides that he doesn't think he should have to do walk-trot transitions or trot-walk transitions nicely, and so that would be part of my leg yield, because walk-trot, trot-walk transitions are all go forward and slow down aids, and they all fit into a leg yield. So you need to start from the very beginning, basic building blocks with your horse. So that's what I plan to do today. In the beginning, if you're just starting out training horses, or if you have a horse that's just starting out being trained, it's always good to have a plan, because then you put the building blocks together in your own head, and if you're actually teaching a green horse, you put the building blocks together in your green horse, and then you can go from there and pick which pieces you need to fit into the horse on that particular day. So today I'm starting from the very basics, and I go through the very basics on my horses every time I get on them. Sometimes it might take me 30 seconds to go through. Will he go? Will he stop? Will he do this? Will he do that? But I always start with ABC and then move on. So the first thing I do with all my horses when I get on is they're allowed to do a few laps of the arena, basically on a no contact loose rein, just to let them step through. And what I do whilst I'm doing this is I will actually loosen myself up. So once they've done a few laps and they're feeling a bit looser, and so am I, I'm going to slowly pick up my contact in a walk still and have the lightest possible contact. I have a contact on Rebel's mouth now. It might not look like it to you, but I can feel the corners of his mouth. Now I can't, because he's decided he'll look at the sheep, but that's okay. I'll just say, excuse me, we're going this, excuse me, yeah, good boy. We're going this way. So now I start with checking my go and stop. So the first things I want to do are walk-halt transitions. So I'm going to do a walk here, I'm going to warn him on the outside rein, I'm going to do a halt. How did he do that halt? This is what I think about. He leant a little bit on the bit and he stopped on his forehand. He's warming up. And I put my leg on, asked him to go. So I did a go aid then. So my aids start at the very lightest possible aid, and then I move up the scale until I get the response I want. I usually want my horses answering my aids somewhere between a 1 and a 3. And if it's above that, I will go back and redo the actual transition I did and make sure that I finish on a transition that's sitting somewhere between a 1 and a 3. So I'm going to ask him to halt again. So I pick my body up, pull my belly button in and stop my pelvis moving. Now to me, Rebel stopped on about a 2 then. Now I'm going to ask Rebel to go. So I'm going to basically pick my energy up. How do I explain that to you? I pick my core up. I don't do anything really active. It's all very subtle. Horses are very subtle animals, and they pick up the subtlest cues. You'll be amazed. So I pick myself up, and that's a little bit of a body half halt I use to go, yep, there's something coming. And now I'm going to put my legs on, and I'm going to go up the training scale, and he hopefully will move between a 1 and a 3. So I'm going to put my seats on, legs on. And he moved probably from a 3 heading towards a 4, if I'm very honest with you. So I'm going to just repeat that. I'm going to ask him to stop. I'm going to ask him to go. Good. That was much better. That was off what I would call a 2. Is it as much energy as I want him to go off? No, not at the moment, but I'm doing a warm-up. Once I've got my halt walk transitions where they would be, I will go off to a walk-trot transition. And it's the same principle in it. He doesn't have to be rounded on the bit, because he's not. I'm warming him up. He's coming onto the aids. He's not on the aids yet. This is how you get them to come on the bit eventually. So I'm asking him First of all, I'm warning. I always warn with my outside rein. Sorry guys, sometimes it's hard to tell you everything I'm doing because it all happens in a split second and I can't say it all at once. But if you just work slowly through these building blocks and put them together, you'll be able to do it like that too. You'll have to think about it in the beginning, but if you've driven a manual car, go back to remembering what it was like to learn to change the gears. You would put your foot on the clutch, you'd think about it, you'd take your foot off the accelerator, you've just revved the guts out the car, then you would put it in gear and then you would try and take your foot off the clutch while putting your foot on the accelerator and you'd bunny hop the car and you'd stall it. That's what happens when you're learning how to do this on your horse. So don't be mean to yourself, allow yourself to learn and just be really grateful that our horses let us learn on them. All right, so sit up and I'm going to ask him to walk off. And I am mindful of every transition I do when I'm on my horse and my perfect nose, but I do try and keep in my mind when I give my horse an aid, I would like him to respond. So we're going to just go and do some walk trot, and I'm going to use long straight lines because Rebel is a little bit lacking in energy today. So I'm going to ask him to listen to me and bump, bump for trot. Good boy. Is it an energetic trot? Not really, but he's warming up. Is he on the bit? Definitely not. Could I put him on the bit? Yeah, I could pull him on the bit, but that's not what I want to do. You're seeing a dinky die warm up, warts and all. So now I'm going to do a down transition. Good boy. That was a very nice down transition. So now I'm going to sit up. And I'm going to tip my pelvis on him. That's how I ask for trot. And I'm going to go bump, bump with my legs. And that was a very good transition for me. Oh, for him, or for me, really. So I'm pretty happy now. I'm going to do a down transition. I'm going to ask him to come back to walk. Nice, good boy. Nice walk transition. Now I'm going to do an up transition. And I'm going to sit up, half halt, touch the outside rein. Make sure his nose is this way because I'm on a circle. Sit up and use my seat tipper and use, good boy. Nice transition. Hopefully you couldn't see too much going on there. Is he on the bit? No. Why? He's not warmed up. I'm bringing him onto the aids. I'm putting him on the bit. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Another walk transition, good boy, but I want him to, keep walking forward in the transition. He sort of drops behind my leg a little bit. I want him to do another trot transition, good boy. So I'm going to sit here. I haven't done anything else but sit here then because I want to tell you what happened then, because I went to touch my outside rein and he leant on my inside leg. So I just wanted to correct that first because he was on a bend. Now he's nicely bent around my leg. Now I'll ask him to go forward. Good. Get on the right diagonal, Joyce. Good. Good. Now I'm just going to shorten my reins a smidge more, which means his nose is going to come closer in. So I need to add a little bit of leg there to ask him to go forward into that shorter contact. So now I'm going to ask him to walk and trot quicker, like a quicker repetition. So come this way, mate. Good, come on. So it's going to be walk and trot. Okay, so there was no response to my aid there. The upper aid, you saw that. I'm not going to edit that out. So that's how I corrected him. I got stronger and I bumped him with my leg and he didn't listen. He got tapped with the whip. Let's try that again. Walk, 2, 3, trot. Yeah, good boy. So because I corrected him, I went back and checked that he would go off a lighter aid. Nope, it's falling on his face there. 1, 2, 3, trot, 2, 3, good boy. It's got to be a little bit of time lapse for the message to get from my seat and leg to his brain and back to his legs. That's why a half halt actually gets their attention first. So half halt for me at the moment is because he's listening and he's on the aids. Is I close my outside ring finger, now walk, now I close it again and go trot. Good. Okay, so once I've got the horse listening to my forward aids, my go aids and my stop aids, I come and check. And for a really green horse, guys, or one you've just started under saddle, that might be all they do for the whole training session. Working on those until you get them. Once I've got them listening to my going aids and my stopping aids, I check them every horse. I don't care which horse it is. Check them when I get on. As I said, might take me 30 seconds, might take me the entire ride. I then want to make sure the horse is listening to my sideways driving aid. Now, if you don't know how to teach a horse to leg yield, I will link that one up here and put it in the description as well. It starts on the ground. These blocks all build on each other for you or me as a horse person. To be able to teach your horse, you need to understand the concepts first. So go there and watch that. So I use the nose to wall leg yield to start with because the actual wall or the fence line helps take one incorrect choice away from the horse, so he can't just walk forwards. So when you tip his nose this way and then he needs to keep going, slide my right leg back and on, and then he can, and then I walk on straight. I just do 1 to 3 steps, one. It's a really green horse, just 1 step. If it's an older horse or a little bit more experienced horse, perhaps 3 steps, maybe even more. But as soon as they understand it, I usually move away from the wall, and you'll find how I do my leg yielding ridden in this video up here. I'll pop this one up here and I'll link it in the description too. Once your horse can go, stop and step away from your sideways driving aids, I'm pretty happy that I've actually warmed my horse up. I hope that one helps you. I hope you find some value in it. And thanks for watching.